USCIS is no longer just denying suspicious applications. They're referring them to IC. If you're filing a marriage-based green card, renewing an H-1B, or even waiting on asylum, this crackdown directly affects you. One mistake could now mean removal proceedings, not just delays. Let's break down exactly how USCIS is enforcing these changes, what real applicants are facing, and how you can protect your case this year. USCIS is now acting like an enforcement agency. Since January 2025, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services has expanded beyond paperwork processing. It's now actively detecting and disrupting fraud across every category: family-based, employment-based, and humanitarian. Mandatory in-person interviews are back for nearly all marriage-based green cards. Social media checks are now being quietly conducted even before biometrics appointments. And when fraud is suspected, even if unproven, cases are being referred directly to IC. Marriage fraud investigations are operating nationwide. In April 2025, federal agents arrested over a dozen individuals involved in a commercial marriage fraud ring that spanned multiple states. Fake wedding ceremonies, false cohabitation claims, and recycled documentation were all part of the scheme. The consequences? Every green card tied to those applications was revoked. Several individuals were indicted in federal court, not immigration court, facing years of prison time. USCIS has made it clear. These aren't just delays or denials. Fraud is now a felony case. If you've made it this far, it means you care about protecting your case. And that's exactly why staying updated matters. USCIS policies are shifting fast, and missing just one update could put your entire application at risk. Subscribe to Immiscope now for accurate, legally grounded immigration news that actually helps you prepare, not just react. Employment visas under deep scrutiny. Fraud isn't just about fake marriages. Employment-based cases are also being targeted. In Texas, 2 U.S. residents were charged in May 2025 for creating fake companies that sponsored applicants under EB2, EB3, and H-1B categories. These weren't isolated errors. These were deliberately falsified job offers, payroll records, and labor certifications. USCIS, working with ICE, arrested the offenders and revoked dozens of pending visa applications linked to the operation. Since January, over 360 arrests have taken place at or near USCIS field offices, something that would have been unheard of 5 years ago. Digital surveillance is quietly expanding. Your digital footprint, especially social media, is no longer separate from your immigration file. As of mid-2025, USCIS has reviewed thousands of online profiles, often without notice, and used them to flag cases for fraud review. They're not just looking for anti-American views. They're cross-checking relationship claims, employment timelines, and travel histories. If you say you're living with your spouse, but your Instagram shows a different city or partner, it may become part of your interview file. A record-high backlog, and fraud makes it worse. With over 11 million immigration cases pending, the system is under strain. But according to USCIS internal reports, fraud detection investigations are one of the major contributors to these delays. Why? Because officers are now spending time investigating fake filings, verifying employment claims, and reviewing digital evidence. That means even genuine applicants may face longer timelines, not because they did anything wrong, but because others are gaming the system. Congress just approved $376 million for fraud enforcement. This isn't just rhetoric. In 2025, a dedicated fraud enforcement budget, $376 million, was approved by Congress and directed toward marriage fraud crackdowns, interview training, tip line expansions, and case audits. That money is already being used to hire more fraud detection officers, expand investigative partnerships with ICE, and deploy digital vetting tools. The result? More scrutiny, fewer shortcuts, and fewer second chances. What you should be doing right now. If you're applying for any immigration benefit in 2025, here's what this means for you. Be 100% truthful on every form. Even omissions count as misrepresentation. Use credible documentation, especially for relationships, work history, and timelines. Expect longer processing times, especially if you fall into a high-risk category like marriage-based or asylum. Avoid risky behavior online. Social media is now part of the vetting process. Report suspected fraud anonymously through the USCIS tip line, because false filings delay your case too. The message from USCIS is simple. Integrity matters and fraud will be punished, not just denied. For honest applicants, these rules are meant to protect your path forward. But the environment in 2025 is more aggressive, more digital, and less forgiving than ever before. Stay informed, stay compliant, and don't give USCIS any reason to doubt your case. This is Immiscope, breaking down the truth behind U.S. immigration headlines. Subscribe for urgent updates, enforcement alerts, and legal insights you won't hear anywhere else.